heading to the gym. It is my last heavy session for my bench today. I'm currently about 8 days out from my powerlifting meet, which is next weekend. It's going to be at a gym in Sydney called City Strength, and it's pretty sweet setup. All the Eleco fit out, and I think there's around 25 competitors, so it should be a good day. This comp has been around 9 months in the making for me, because of an injury and because of some other life stuff we had going on. I haven't competed. This actual prep has been going on for 12 weeks, so for it to culminate in this final week of heavy stuff, it's like a long time coming. It's pretty tiring. Anyway, I wanted to talk you guys through what I go through personally in the final week of a comp prep. This is only my third meet with Powerlifting Australia, so I'm by no means an expert, but there are a few things that come up in the final weeks of a prep that you might not think about, and I want to share them with you so that you don't feel like quite as much of a noob as I did when I first started competing. So let's do this. Is basically an essential addition to any training session for me now, but especially in this final week. And this is literally the best thing in the whole world. I'm not sure if it's entirely good for you. I'm pretty sure there's some side effects to like guarana and stuff, but disregard. In the final weeks of prep, I tend to wear my full kit when I'm training. I'm pretty sure the pros don't actually do this, but I'm not a pro. I do this because I want to train in the stuff I'm going to wear on the day, and if something's not working, I can change it before the day so I don't have to freak out. These are the shoes that I bench in. They're deadlifting slippers, but I bench barefoot, so these are what I have to wear on the day. You can't bench barefoot, you need to wear shoes, so if you haven't thought about that, start thinking about it. Obviously I also deadlift in these shoes as well. You can get them from anywhere, but you want to make sure that the bottom of them is suede, not rubber. So rubber is going to stick to the ground and it's going to come up at the sides if you're benching in them. Suede is just going to stay right where it is, and you won't have a problem in them. So if you're going to buy some, make sure it's a suede bottom.
It was raining in the skies. Oh, we can't be torn apart. We are linked together, forging fire.
What are you doing?
In the lead up to comp, like not even just this week, I'm forever managing niggles. I don't know if it's just me, because I'm so clumsy, or if it's normal, but every powerlifter tends to have like a few injuries during their comp prep. For me at the moment, I've got a bit of scapular pain. Obviously in the past I've had lower back issues, knees, hips, whatever. So this week is like about management. The week that is coming up will be all about recovery. But considering I'm about to bench, I like to open up my shoulders, get my rear delts working. Yeah, that's basically all I do before I start with the ball. I just stick it into different places that I need to release. Anyone's hair. So one thing that I forgot when I first competed was how to do my hair. That might sound ridiculous, but I didn't like think about the logistics of each lift. So I had like low bun, and then I forgot that I was gonna have to bench. I thought that was the best idea for my squat because it was like out of my face. Then I had to change my hair halfway through and put it higher. This might all sound mundane, but it's quite stressful on the day. And then I had to deadlift, and my hair being like up on top of my head like was annoying because it was like shaking back and forth. So you want to think about a hairstyle that's perfect for all 3 lifts, and there aren't many with this much hair, which is why my hair always looks stupid. But the perfect hairstyle, honestly, is 2 braids and 2 buns right on top for anyone who has long hair. You heard it here first. It might seem pretty straightforward, but I also make sure that I'm getting at least 9 hours of sleep. I thrive on 9 to 10 hours. If you thrive on 7 hours, then that's cool. But make sure you're getting good sleep every single night. I have to wake up early in the morning to train clients, so I might nap during the day this week. It's also really important that you're hydrated. So make sure you're drinking extra water. You might even need to water load if you need to cut some weight. I'm not going to talk about that because I'm not an authority on it. I also don't cut into a comp. I am pretty comfortable sitting at 69, so at this stage I'm actually eating a little bit more to try and sit at 70 and get into the 72 kilo class quite comfortably. During this week I'll also get probably 2 massages. That's the norm for me, and it's quite a luxury. I have a really good massage therapist who lives right near our place. So I'll have a heavy massage tomorrow, which is Sunday. That'll be a week out from when I compete, and then I'll have another one probably Wednesday, Thursday. It won't be as heavy, but it'll be just getting the blood moving, paying attention to any kind of little niggles that I have. I might get a couple of needles that day in any spots that are sore or tight, and then that'll be it for me. I won't get a massage again. I'll be recovering Friday, Saturday, not training at all, and then I'll be competing Sunday.
We can't be torn apart. We are linked together, forging fire forever. We are linked together,
What do we got now?
Got some pull downs and some rows, and then I'm done.
Last session. Some of the mistakes I made at my first comp. Even though I worked with a really knowledgeable coach, there are a few things that I probably wasn't as across as I could have been on the day. And one of those things was the calls. If you don't know what the calls are, it's the things that the judges say when you're lifting on the day that tell you to start the lift and end the lift, or even start and press. But I never practiced. Practicing the calls is incredibly important. Not only because there are a lot of them, but because on the day it's noisy, there's a lot going on, it's quite overwhelming, and when there's noise in the background and you're not sure if you heard your start or you heard your press, it can get you really anxious, or at least it got me really anxious. So my advice is to practice all the calls in your training for the last 3 weeks of prep, if not before. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing it all the time, but you might not have somebody there. So if you can get somebody to say squat and rack when you squat, start, press and rack on every single bench that you do, and deadlift's easy, but you want to hold it at the top and have somebody tell you to go down at the end of your deadlift. You'll be home and hosed, and it'll make it a lot easier on the day because you'll be used to listening out for those calls. Probably the final thing that I would consider doing during your final week is to stay mildly distracted. I tend to psych myself out whenever I have like a clear moment of thought. Generally it's thinking about my meet, which is slightly obsessive, but probably natural for most people that are going to do a powerlifting competition, because you've been working on that shit for 12 weeks and the day's finally come and you want to kind of think about every possible scenario, which isn't always a good thing. Obviously visualization has been shown to be really positive for athletes, but if you're also thinking about all the things that could go wrong or freaking yourself out and getting nervous, it's not ideal. Nervous energy takes a lot out of you. So I like to meditate. I do that all the time, so it's quite natural for me to do, but I would recommend starting some meditation maybe 4 weeks out. You can do this in a guided fashion, which is my favorite way of doing it. Otherwise I end up thinking about what I'm going to have for lunch midway through. There's a good app called Headspace that I use, probably the best one that I've found, and I've tried quite a few. So if you've got time each day for 10 minutes, it's a good thing to keep your mind freer for the rest of the day. I also try not to fixate too much on my openers or what I'm going to lift on the day. I try not to do calculations of what I could possibly get if I can help it. I don't find that this really helps me at all. It just makes me feel scared. So if you can just focus on the training and each day as it comes, and then really only think about the day where you're competing on the day. I know that might be ridiculous, but if you can try and do that, you'll be far better served. During that final week as well, I like to do some of my favorite things. So I like to go for long walks, I like to go bushwalking or be outside, hang out with friends. Keeping your mind occupied, as I mentioned, is pretty important. Becoming a hermit in the final week is okay, and you may need to do that. Eating out might need to be dialed back a little bit if you need to make weight, but try to keep distracted and make your life less about powerlifting, because on the day, that's all you're going to be thinking about. I apologise if I cry this week. Although what people watching this video don't know is that I already cried today.
How are we feeling about today?
Not great. So that's it. That's pretty much everything I think you need to know about your final week of prep. I will put together a video for all the things that you need to bring with you on the day. And the list is extensive, like ridiculously long. So I'll chuck together a quick video for you guys so that you can have a look at that. Pretty comprehensive list. I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching. Woo.